Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Uranus and the sixth house of the natal chart. Now, first off, what I want to state is, as some of you may remember, when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the Uranus placements and the houses, and they were a little bit concise. Some people may have referred to them as snappy, so what I decided to do is make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up as well, Uranus in the sixth house can be comparable to Uranus in Virgo, but naturally you've got to blend in the zodiac sign with that. Uranus in Virgo can be different in the sixth house. Uranus in Virgo in the sixth house can be different than Uranus in Pisces in the sixth house, as an example. The thing about this is, Uranus is connected with our goals and aspirations. So goals and aspirations may be a service oriented, whether it's troubleshooting, computer, what have you. If you have Uranus, in the sixth house, natal chart, there may be some, service connected with astrology or computers or electronics as some examples that, that might be a goal and aspiration for you. And, and it could also be, it could be health related, whether it's in a health position or whether it's just being, more fit, more healthy. And you may go about your goals and aspirations in a very, systematic, methodical, and organized manner. And goals and aspirations may be something, sixth house Virgo related, something connected with statistics or analytics, working as a data analyst, cabinet making, or even being a professional organizer, as some examples. Now, Uranus in astrology is also associated with the future. So, you may go about, your future moving forward, again, in that methodical, systematic manner, being very attentive to details. The future may be one, it could be in a health field, working as a nutritionist or dietitian, as some examples. And, it could be service related. And it's about, being, could just be about, the fact if you're helpful to others may play, something like that could play a role, figure prominently in terms of your future. Of course, not in an officious or unwanted manner, but just being helpful in general. It may be doing something, sixth house Virgo related. Your future may be tied into, such as working as an editor or a proofreader or fitness instructor, some kind of diagnostic work. You could even be working again as like a data analyst, as an example. Something that requires you being punctilious with details. Uranus is also connected with freedom and independence. So if you have Uranus in the sixth house in your natal chart, there may be more of a desire for freedom in matters with your pets, whether it's, having, being free from them from time to time, periodically taking a break from them, or it could just be about the freedom to do, to have what pet you want, to have, to have your time, with your pets, as an example, and to not worry about what others needs at that point in time. And it could be where the freedom issues may be something that you have a greater propensity to worry about, more so than most people on average. Keep in mind the sixth house is, does correspond with the zodiac sign Virgo, which is about worry. And it might be about having freedom, for matters with work and employment. Even if you're in, say a subordinate role, your position, you may desire a certain amount of freedom in, what you're doing. They're not, have somebody, hovering over you. I have Uranus in the sixth house of my natal chart. It almost exactly conjuncts my sixth house cusp. And even when, I was working at a place when, in a subordinate role, I like to have my freedom to kind of, do things and work in peace without having, somebody hovering over me. And Also, too, it could be freedom in matters, with clothing, what to wear without, worrying about being, ridiculed or criticized by others. Matters connected with health and fitness. It even to critique and criticize others in some instances. You might feel you have that right to do that. Having that freedom, so to speak, and doing that without yourself being criticized in return for doing that. Now, Uranus in astrology is also associated with unusual growth. So, with this being in the sixth house, again, keep in mind the sixth house does correspond with Virgo. So, it could be some issues, unusual growths, in some remote cases with the spleen or something intestinal, something by the abdomen. If you have any, unusual growths, protrusions, or tumors, they may have more of an impact on your daily routine, more so than most people on average. Even matters with hygiene in some remote cases, it may impact that more so than the average person. It may be more tied into the clothing you wear, such as wearing, like looser, bigger clothing to hide something. In some remote cases, if there's a tumor, that's, something that would stand out more if you were wearing tight clothing as opposed to loose clothing. And also, it may affect matters connected with fitness and exercising in general, and also your employment and work life more so than most others on average. Uranus in astrology is also associated with our friends and acquaintances. So if you have Uranus in the sixth house in your natal chart, friends and acquaintances may play more of an integral role in your physical health. They may be more involved in matters, with an aunt or an uncle. It could be where, these people may often be fellow employees. When I work during the days when I worked in like a regular, 9 to 5 type job, a number of, fellow employees wound up being my friends. And again, I do have Uranus in the sixth house in my chart. And also, too, friends and acquaintances can sometimes be servants. They may be people that are, beneficial to you or figure prominently in your hygiene, or they may be people that strongly emphasize health and hygiene in your life. It could be those that are analytical, but yet may be pedantic, judgmental, and critical as well. Uranus is also connected with groups, clubs, and organizations. So if you have Uranus in the sixth house in your natal chart, well, these people may often emphasize health, hygiene, fitness, diet. They may be those that are very, where these things may figure more prominently in their life, or take on more importance and significance than most others. They may be people that are very organized, meticulous with details, or even be in like sixth house type, professions, whether that's some kind of diagnostic work or something that requires analysis, working or doing something with compartmentalizing, working with cabinets, organizing, things of that nature. And the thing too is Uranus in astrology is also connected with innovation and ingenuity. So if you have Uranus in the sixth house in your natal chart, well, you may simply express, could be ingenuity in the daily routine at your place of employment. It might be in, as far as organizing things, um, service related matters, or even health. You may come up with some ideas, that may be ingenious, that are health related, matters with fitness. And it could also be too where, innovation, your ingenuity may often be expressed, with people that are prominent in your daily routine, fellow employees, and an aunt and or uncle as well. And also, too, Uranus is associated with the unexpected and unpredictable. So if you have Uranus in the sixth house, well, you may be dealing with, sometimes pets can be that way. I had you know, a pet pet cat one time, and he was very, a little bit eccentric, He's very smart, cerebral cat. He would jump on the doorknob to open it. It could also be where the sixth house is also connected with long distance travel of the dominant parent. So it could be where those things may be very spontaneous, unexpected, and unpredictable. Matters pertaining to an aunt and uncle, people prominent in your daily routine, your work life. There may be more unpredictability there, more so than most others, and also too, you may be connected with rather eccentric, bizarre, and even ingenious, fellow co-workers, or an aunt or an uncle, and people prominent in your daily routine. There also may be something very unorthodox about what you do on a day-to-day basis, more so than most others on average. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay right.